What if Palpatine kept his promise and actually saved Padme? Let's explore the depths of this scenario in the video. After hours of surgery, Darth Vader's body slowly raises from the operation table to face Palpatine, who waits expectantly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Master. Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right?
Palpatine does not answer right away, but a smile slowly forms on his face.
It seems in your anger you attacked her. She was nearly lost when I found her, but she lives as part of our agreement.
Even under his helmet, Vader's relief is palpable. His body sags, and a choked sob escapes his lips. Palpatine allows this before placing a hand on his shoulder. It initially seems comforting, but then he starts to squeeze, roughly, as a smile turns into a sneer.
She lives, but only because I allow it. I can change my mind, Lord Vader. I hope you don't forget it.
I understand.
The Emperor heads out, allowing Vader to visit his wife, but telling him to be ready for his next mission. Vader hurries to find Padme in the medical bay. True to his word, Padme is alive, exhausted and battered, but alive. Despite his relief, Vader can't help but be shocked at her appearance. The experience leaves her with milky white skin and sunken eyes. There is a faint yellowish tint to them, while white streaks her hair. It doesn't stop Vader from embracing his wife, a gesture that Padme returns. For a moment, the two can forget everything that happened around them. It lasts only briefly, though, as Padme remembers. She tells him how after giving birth to the twins, she was overcome with exhaustion and was on the verge of death. Before she lost consciousness, she saw a hooded figure approaching her. Padme saw him battling Obi-Wan, who was forced to retreat. After that, she remembers nothing.
Annie, what did you do?
What I had to do to keep you safe.
Padme pulls away from him and shakes her head.
No. You didn't have to do this. All this suffering. All this death. It didn't have to happen.
The Jedi were traitors. They needed to be stopped.
And what of all the other innocents who will suffer? Annie, do you know how many people died for this? You didn't just betray the Jedi. You betrayed the Republic. And democracy. You betrayed me.
Padme.
I can't look at you right now. Go to your Emperor. I'm sure he needs you.
With both husband and wife under his control, Palpatine puts them to work in consolidating power. Vader serves as his right hand, acting as the enforcer of his rule. He keeps him busy by putting down separatist holdouts and rebellious worlds who refuse to accept Imperial control. Padme, meanwhile, continues to remain active in the Senate. Palpatine refuses to accept her resignation, as she's one of the few senators with an untainted reputation. Therefore, her support holds considerable sway over the citizens. She doesn't just blindly accept this position and continues to resist at every opportunity, whether it's clone rights, imperial recruitment, or budgeting. Despite her fiery resistance, Padme knows that she cannot fully resist Palpatine, as he has hostages over them, Luke and Leia. After saving Padme, the Emperor makes sure to take their children and keep them under his watch. He allows the parents to visit them, and even reveals that Padme is their mother. He keeps Vader's identity a secret. This is to prevent them from joining with him. That arrangement also allows Palpatine to begin training them as his apprentices. Unlike the previous Sith, who trained their apprentices in secret, the Emperor does this with Vader's knowledge, knowing he cannot stop him. Whatever affection they have quickly vanishes, but Vader can do nothing other than watch. His relationship with Padme is equally fractured, as she never fully forgives him for what he did and barely talks to him. Though he has a wife and kids, Vader feels more isolated than ever. Vader nearly falls deeper in despair as he tries to figure out how to deal with Palpatine. He continues to train and fight, trying to improve his skills to match the Emperor. The different battlefields give him plenty of practice, but he knows that his master's powers are far beyond that, and realizes he cannot take him alone. Eventually, he realizes the only person who can help him is another Jedi, his former master. He was one of the few Jedi not listed as terminated in the Imperial records, meaning he may still be hiding somewhere. Vader begins looking through leads to figure out where Obi-Wan could be, starting with the Senate. Aside from Padme, he knows there are other senators critical of the Empire. Next to her, the most vocal is Bail Organa. This suspicion is strengthened by a report from Commander Appo, which claims the senator was seen visiting the Jedi Temple during the Purge. After a Senate meeting one day, Vader decides to pay him a little visit. Bail is surprised to see Darth Vader in his office, but he keeps his composure.
Lord Vader, what an unexpected surprise. I require your help, Senator. I know you have little love for the Emperor.
That may be so, but that does not mean I will like what you suggest.
I believe you will. I wish to overthrow him. Although I am his apprentice, I suspect my position is far from secure. We share a common foe.
Perhaps. But that does not mean I will support a coup against my government.
I only require information about the Jedi. There are rumors you have been given aid to rebellious elements. Is one of them Obi-Wan?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I came here for information, Senator. I intend to get it, one way or another.
I helped him get settled, yes. But I'm uncertain if he remains there.
Where?
Bail gives him the location, and Vader's body tenses. Tatooine. He had not been there in a lifetime, and would have been content to die without returning. But it seems he has no choice. Thanking the senator for this information, he prepares to depart. And if I can make a suggestion, the Emperor's aide, Leia, I've spoken to her several times and she is sympathetic to the rebellion. With this information, Vader proposes a mission to Tatooine to deal with the Jedi hiding there. He suggests that Leia join him and to get some experience in combat. Palpatine is skeptical of him, but agrees to provide the Inquisitors to join them. Once they arrive, Vader uses the coordinates that Bail provided and finds a small hut not too far from where his mother's farm used to be. Vader pauses and causes the other to look at him.
Is something wrong, my lord?
No. Just a thought. Stay here. I will advance with the Inquisitors.
As they surround the entrance, Vader raises his hands.
Obi-Wan, I know you are in there. Come out and face me. We have much to discuss.
The door explodes forward towards the group. Vader sidesteps the projectile, but hits the nearest Inquisitor and knocks him aside. The rest draw their lightsabers as Obi-Wan comes rushing out with a lightsaber ready. The Inquisitors rush at him, putting the Jedi Master on the defensive. He blocks their attacks and counters, sending another stumbling into the dirt while the others surround him. Despite his age, Obi-Wan's movements remain graceful and he parries everything they throw at him. Vader watches the duel carefully, studying Obi-Wan's fighting style before joining the fight. He plunges his lightsaber into the nearest Inquisitor's back. He gasps and stumbles to the ground as his companions turn to face him. The second fares no better and is cut down as he tries to face Vader. The last is quickly overwhelmed with Obi-Wan on one side and Vader on the other. But seconds later, another voice cries out as Leia charges her father. The Dark Lord parries her vicious attacks and then steps back. But as he steadies himself, he shoves Leia back with the Force before whirling to meet Obi-Wan's blade.
Just what are you doing?
Enough! I have come to talk with this Jedi.
I have nothing to say to you.
Obi-Wan blocks his next attack and swings low, trying to leave Vader off balance before slamming his hilt against his face.
I did not come to fight. I came here because I need your help to overthrow the Empire.
Traitor!
The young Sith apprentice comes from behind, forcing Vader to take his attention from his former master. The two press him from both sides as he tries to defend against their attacks.
I know you distrust the Empire too, child. Why do you think I brought you here? I've come to free us from Palpatine's control.
A cage you ran right into. Grown tired of acting as Palpatine's errand boy?
Yes. I understand what you've told me all those years ago about the dark side. I have made myself a slave. I have suffered from that mistake.
A snarl from Obi-Wan stuns Vader, almost as much as the ensuing punch in the face. Vader falls to the ground and barely raises his blade to block his master's downward thrust.
Suffering? Do you talk of suffering? You've spent years of your life at the side of the Emperor, serving the highest offices and benefiting from the galaxy you destroyed. Come to me when you've spent decades on the run. Come to me when you've seen friends and family fall. Whatever inconveniences you suffer are nothing more than justice.
Leia stands over him, staring down, but her hand shakes as she raises her lightsaber. At the last second, Vader headbutts Obi-Wan and leaps to his feet, grabbing Leia's hand as she prepares to swing.
Do you think it was easy for me to do any of these things? Do you think I wanted to betray everyone I know to save my wife? To make myself believe all those lies, just so I could go through with it? And to see my wife look at me with such revulsion? With my children barely recognizing me?
Leia gasps as her lightsaber falls from her hand, and Vader drops to his knees, his lightsaber deactivating.
Kill me, if you like. I have not come here to fight, but to see if there is a chance that I can make things right. Regardless, I at least died knowing my last deed was to defy the Emperor.
When the killing blow doesn't land, Vader sees Obi-Wan standing before him, his eyes still angry, but also mixed with a hint of compassion.
Come inside. Let us talk like civilized beings, at least.
Inside his hut, Vader explains to him everything that happened, how his relationship with Padme is soured, how the Emperor keeps his children as hostages and plans on replacing him. This shocks Leia, who was only ever introduced to Vader as Palpatine's apprentice, never as her father. She also reveals she has doubts about the Emperor's intentions, and has secretly helped the rebel cells by sending them supplies.
If what you say is true, Father, then we must return to Coruscant at once to free Luke and my mother.
Patience, child. Even with the two of us, we do not have the power to face Palpatine himself. We need Obi-Wan.
I had hoped to retire after the Clone Wars. After this nightmare, the only consolation I had was I might spend the rest of my life in peace. But that may not be the case.
So you will help us?
I may not have called myself a Jedi for many years, but I still know my duty.
The three of them form a plan. They decide to get Padme out first by contacting her and trying to get her out of there before confronting Palpatine and Luke. The three take Vader's ship back to Coruscant spaceport, deciding to ditch it there in favor of a private ship prepared by Bail Organa, which can take them away. They head over to the rendezvous point where Padme is waiting for them. She looks at them with a mixture of confusion and fear. Her eyes widen at the sight of Obi-Wan.
I got your message. What's going on?
There is no time, Padme. We need to leave, now.
They guide Padme towards the sleek private vessel in a secluded part of the port. As they approach, the door swings open. But it's not the pilot who greets them, but Luke Skywalker.
I can't let you leave.
Luke, what have you done?
What have I done? You're plotting against the Emperor. I can't let that happen. What do you think will happen to Mother?
That is why we must do this, my boy.
Luke whirls around and points his lightsaber at him. You! The Emperor warned me that you would try to plot against him. Before Vader can reply, a dark presence fills the room. Emperor Palpatine emerges from the shadows.
Ah, the traitors reveal themselves. Did you truly believe you could deceive me, Lord Vader?
Palpatine.
Without warning, lightning crackles from his fingers, aimed directly at Obi-Wan and Leia. Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber just in time to deflect the attack, but the force of the blast sends him reeling. Leia, less prepared, is thrown against the wall, her blaster skittering across the floor.
No!
Vader's lightsaber ignites, but he faces Luke, who blocks his path. Obi-Wan yells at him to deal with him, while he rushes at Palpatine. Luke's attacks are quick and aggressive, moving with the same skill and agility that Vader possessed in his youth. The Dark Lord finds himself being pressed and begins to give ground. He fights defensively, occasionally pushing back at Luke and sweeping him off his feet.
Luke, listen to me. Palpatine is the true enemy.
He's not the one who betrayed the Empire, Vader. He brought peace to the galaxy.
No. No. I once thought the same thing when I was younger. But all he brought was fear and terror, my boy. This empire is built on lies and murder. He killed everyone who stood against him.
You were the one who killed my father. The shock at those words leaves Vader stunned, and he nearly loses his head as Luke slashes at him. He leans back to avoid the blow, but leaves him open to Luke driving him back with the Force. His son glares at him, lifting him with the Force, then choking him with it.
No, Luke. I am your father.
Luke hesitates. The grip around his father's neck loosens. No. It can't be.
Search your feelings. You know them to be true.
Luke's eyes widen as he feels the realization dawn on him. He begins to scream and shake his head, offering a distraction for Vader. He shoves him aside and hurries to join the others. The fight is not going well, as Obi-Wan and Leia struggle to hold their ground against Palpatine's relentless assault. Leia, now on her feet, again duels with the Emperor, throwing powerful blades against him. But the Emperor effortlessly blocks these attacks and strikes her across the face. Obi-Wan comes from the other side, swinging at his waist. Palpatine leaps back and blocks the next blow. He feigns high, then strikes at Obi-Wan's thigh. It burns into the flesh, and he stumbles to his knee.
We can't keep this up much longer.
Before Palpatine can finish him off, Vader blocks the attack and shoves him back. This time, Vader unleashes his full power on Palpatine. The Dark Lord rains heavy blows on his master, allowing Leia and Obi-Wan to recover. They come at him from the sides and surround Palpatine. Though the Emperor manages to block all attacks, he begins to slow.
Your reign ends here, Palpatine.
However, Palpatine smiles and bats aside the attack and thrusts a hand out to Padme.
Did you forget? I gave her life, and I can take it away.
He extends a hand, and Padme collapses in pain, clutching her chest. She stumbles onto the ground, her body writhing in pain as blood pools around her lips. The Senator reaches out for Vader desperately, calling out for Anakin, calling out for him to help her.
No, stop!
Luke desperately looks at Palpatine, begging for him to stop, but the Emperor shakes his head.
I showed mercy once, and look where it got me. No, this is the price for victory. Consider this your final test, my apprentice.
Seeing his mother in pain, Luke clenches his fist and runs up to join the others. Together, all 4 of them attack.
I won't let you hurt her.
Foolish boy. Then join her.
He blocks Luke's first attack, but the sight rallies the other 3. Leia joins her brother in a coordinated attack. Even without saying anything, the 2 synchronize their attacks and force Palpatine to put his full attention on them instead of Padme. While they attack from either side, Palpatine begins to backpedal before Vader leaps into the air and Obi-Wan swings low. The Emperor blocks both these attacks in quick succession, but as he forces them back, the twins both thrust their lightsabers at his chest, scoring blows against his side and leaving him hissing in pain. As he stumbles back, he unleashes a wave of dark energy that throws them backward. Obi-Wan ducks under it and slams into Palpatine while Vader comes in from the side and severs his lightsaber hand. Palpatine stumbles onto the ground, clutching his stump while Anakin looms over him. With one single stroke, he decapitates him. As his lifeless body drops to the ground, Vader runs up to Padme and cradles her body. For a moment, he fears that he's too late, but then she opens her eyes and smiles at him.
Annie, you saved me. You all did.
She looks up and sees their children standing before them. Luke and Leia both bow their heads and apologize for the role they played, but Vader shakes his head.
I am sorry. It was my mistake to fix. I am sorry to each and every one of you.
The 3 of them help Padme to her feet, while Obi-Wan smiles. He begins to board his ship and head back home. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.